Can I see us yet?
Yes, they can see us now. Hi, everybody.
Hey.
As usual, Dana is very excited to
Oh,
start
I
the
like
show.
this.
Well, I'm glad. I
It's
like it too.
always one of the highlights of my week. Hi, everybody. Gotta delete something real quick here.
Oh, okay. Oh, you were going to TikTok Shives me.
Only if we got started after 6. Like only if we were
Unbelievable.
visible after 6 instead of.
Unbelievable.
But
You had it loaded. You had it loaded and ready to go.
Steve,
Yes,
it's
Dana.
important to be prepared.
Oh, so I've heard. So, were you a Boy Scout?
I actually, I've heard that Indian Scouts were extra prepared. As I recall, sir, you were never one of those either.
So yeah,
that is one of the best parts of Batman Forever. And it's in the novelization, not the movie.
Is that an Alfred line?
Yes. Oh, yes.
Yeah. Yeah. Alfred does have one of the best lines in Batman Forever, which is after Bruce solves one of the Riddler's riddles and they're like walking out of the room and Alfred is following him and he says, "You really are quite bright despite what people say."
Oh my goodness.
Oh, hey, Danielle Marie says, was binging your videos and got a notification that you are live. Yes, we are. And if you've never watched one of these live streams of mine before, this is a watch along. So after we do some chit chat here for about the first 15 or 20 minutes, we're going to be watching an episode of Agatha Christie's Poirot. And if you would like to watch along with us, there is a link to download a copy of the episode in the video description, because we're not going to show the episode that we're watching on the stream because I don't have copyright clearance to do that. So we're all going to watch it ourselves, but at the same time, Dana will explain how we sync up and everything when it's time to do that. And you're more than welcome to watch the episode right along with us, as is everybody else. Yes, please.
Although I will point out that we flip flop. And so next Wednesday we'll be watching Deep Space Nine. So if you're watching Steve's channel, you're probably not certainly, but probably more of a Star Trek fan than an Agatha Christie fan.
Probably. Yes, because this is really the only Agatha Christie related content that I do. Oh, thank you, Danielle. It's very nice of you to say.
I'm Kara. Kara, yes, H.B. Haga is right. Graduate equivalence degree.
Yes.
There are some people like I've heard
the equivalent of a high school
education degree, but it means you have, by passing this test, you've shown that you know what and can do the things that would be required, that would be expected of a high school graduate.
Yeah, it's something that can be acquired by people who did not finish high school but wish to continue their education or to have a high school level qualification for something. It's a very nice thing to have.
Although, Cara, I'm curious what brings it up. We didn't talk about that, did we? That didn't come up. Yeah,
I don't think so.
Okay.
Yeah, and basically, a GED will get you anything that a traditionally earned high school diploma will get you. Yeah.
Yep.
It signifies that you have completed secondary education.
Yes. Now, the thing is, your more selective colleges are also going to look at your grades and like your possibly your SAT or ACT scores and application stuff like that. So that alone is not going to guarantee that you get into the college of your choice. Well, but no. It does open a lot more doors than not having it does.
No, yeah, I mean, really nothing guarantees that you're going to get into the college of your choice. I mean, it's, there are some colleges that are much more, sort of open on admissions than others. If your dream is to attend some elite university, you are by no means guaranteed admission.
Did I make you watch Tangled?
I think we watched it. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Because the song, after they do the song, I've Got a Dream. And he says, go live your dream. And Flynn Rider says, I will. And the guy says, I was talking to her. Your dream sucks. And yeah, so if it's your dream to get into one of those elite colleges, that's a sucky dream, just FYI.
So judgmental.
Kara, he doesn't have a GED. I guess it would depend on trying to find Bruce, because Tim has enough other adults in his life that I would be surprised if there wasn't some sort of arrangement for non-traditional schooling.
Yeah, but he was like being tutored or something. Yeah.
Homeschooled.
Yeah. Rich people call that being tutored.
I know, frying pans, right? Who knew?
Kirak, I have not seen the film Imposter. No, not that I remember.
I, however, do not need to get one of those. A, because we've already got them. And B, because I suck at cooking. Frying pans are just another opportunity to burn things. Bye, Danielle. Thanks for stopping
for stopping by, Danielle. Glad to have you aboard. Really, I mean, as long as you can afford it, the only kitchen implement you really need is a phone with the Grubhub app installed. And you can,
it's that first part that does me in.
As long as you can afford it, yeah.
Woo! That's a big old caveat on a teacher's salary.
Well, it's a once in a while thing. It's not an everyday thing. Unless you just have a lot of money. Then I guess it could be an everyday thing. Kirak says, well, I was watching the DS9 episode Whispers. Not sure if you remember that one. Yes, I do. I think, we've watched that one on this series a while ago. But I think they rip off the film Imposter. When was Imposter made? Because the Deep Space Nine episode was made... Oh no, they do. Does the Deep Space Nine episode rip it off, or does Imposters rip it off of the Deep Space Nine episode? Because the Deep Space Nine episode, that episode was what, probably 94, 95, 96 maybe. So if
I don't know who you're asking, but it ain't me.
I'm just speaking out loud.
Oh, okay.
But I was speaking of like TV episodes that possibly ripped off movies, or actually in this case, I think definitely ripped off movies. A few weeks ago. Actually, probably a couple months ago now, time kind of flies. There's a brilliant film from the 70s directed by William Friedkin, who of course was also the director of The Exorcist, among The Exorcist and The French Connection, one of my favorite films, and many other great films. But he directed a movie called Sorcerer. And I had never seen this movie. Like I'd heard about it, but I'd never actually watched it until relatively recently. And when I watched Sorcerer, I realized that one of my favorite episodes of MacGyver is just a blatant ripoff of this movie. Like, it's just, oh shit, they just did Sorcerer for this episode. It's the MacGyver episode where, actually, you know what? It's the episode there. Here's a Star Trek connection. It's one of the episodes that guest stars Nana Visitor. It's Hellfire. It's Hellfire from season 1, where MacGyver goes to see, some old friends of his who are working as wildcatters on an oil drilling site, and their oil well catches fire.
We watched that, didn't we?
I believe we did. Yeah. So Mac and his buddy have to travel across rough terrain to collect some dynamite and bring it back so they can set off an explosion to put out the fire. And it's, a really perilous journey because it's a bumpy ride and the dynamite is old and unstable and right. That's literally the plot of Sorcerer. So yeah, the Oracle, Kara. Yeah. So it's like a total ripoff of that movie.
Do, 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 do.
So you are hitting the road tomorrow, right?
I am. I'm so excited. I'm going to the annual conference for the Georgia Council of Teachers of English. I'm very excited.
And you're
So
presenting, right?
I get to present a workshop. My very first time doing that. I hope it goes well.
I'm
I
sure
hope
it
people
will.
show up. Well, the downside is there's like a keynote address Thursday evening. So we're going to get there, we're going to check in, and then we'll go to the keynote and the dinner and stuff. But the workshops start bright and early Friday morning, 8 a.m. And they go to like 5 or 6. And then Saturday morning, it'll go till like noonish. And then we come home. Guess who got an 8 a.m. slot?
Was it you?
It was me. Although I forget, I was talking to a friend of mine and she said, but be glad you didn't get a slot at the end of the conference.
Yeah,
because
that's what I was thinking.
Yeah, that's when everybody wants to go and, go to the exhibit hall and make sure they pick up any books that they wanted to purchase. That you don't want to schlep around the whole time.
Yeah.
So I'm like, okay. I'm also taking, I need to pack a pitcher just in case they don't have water. I'm also taking my coffee maker and some coffee pods and some artificial sweetener and cups and lids. And so I'm going to have a coffee. I'm going to take a picture to take some water so that I can get it set up in the back of the room. I hope there's a table or something. Oh, I'll set up on chairs.
I'm sure there will be. But
so I don't know what it's going to, I don't know what to expect.
But yeah, I mean, I've never done this sort of thing either, obviously, not being a teacher at all. But like, I would think it would be better to have one of the earlier slots, because if you're doing it like later in the day, everybody's going to be sick of it. You're going to be like, oh, Jesus.
Not when the workshops only last a day and a half. Are you kidding? Nah. If it was longer, maybe. But no.
I don't know, man. I mean, how long do these workshops last?
75 minutes.
Okay, so there's what, 2 in the morning and 2 in the afternoon, maybe?
8 to 9:15, 9:30 to 10:30, 10:45, 11 to 12:15. I'm guessing. So maybe 3 in the morning.
So 3 in the morning, and then like a break for lunch, and then
something like that.
I'm just saying, like, depending on, I mean, if someone's there and they're going to like, they're attending presentations like all morning. By the time you get to the afternoon, you've already sat through 3 of these fucking things. You know what I mean? And even if you did just break for lunch, it's just grueling. Like, who wants to do that? I mean, I guess it's better than, it's better than working. It's better than having to go to school and teach. But like, I would rather have one of the morning slots than the afternoon slot, because that that way you're not fighting fatigue.
Yeah. I really don't think there's gonna, I don't know. I mean, part of it is, my thought is the people who go to something like this are going to be people like me who are just like teaching English, like nerd stuff. And so, I mean, are going to be like worse. There's another teacher from my school who's going, we're anticipating we're going to be splitting up. And then we're going to be comparing notes like at lunch and at dinner and say, okay, what did you see? What did you see? What do you notice? And then when we get back, we're going to present to the department and talk about what we learned. So I'm anticipating that the other teachers who are there are like, okay, I want to go to as many sessions as possible, but I also want to get to the exhibit hall so that we can talk to the vendors and see, what we can do for our school. And it's just like, having gone to, I went to the national one years ago, and I've also been to this one years ago. I haven't been there in a long time. And it really is. It's very high energy. It's very much like a con, like Dragon Con or San Diego Comic Con or Gen Con or something like that. Very high energy, minus the cosplay.
But, see, okay, now that I think the problem here is me. I think that's where I've gone wrong, because I think I've told you before. I think I've even mentioned it on like streams before. Like, I wouldn't go to a con unless they paid me. and it would have, and it would not, and not just like $5. I mean, I'm not just going to go unless I am paid to go, because that does not interest me at all, just for its own sake.
I love talking about and exploring story and language. So I was talking with some of my ELLs, and I was trying to explain something to them in Spanish. I was like, espera, los dos son escribir. See? Because here in English, we say typing and writing.
Right.
But in Spanish, it's escribir for both. And things like that throw me off. I'm like I understand you're kind of doing the same thing. Like you're putting thoughts into words that are, not printed out exactly, but just like, but in English it's different. And what was another one that I was thinking of? Prepositions are so tricky to explain. They're so hard. But like I was thinking, oh yeah, what's the difference between rob and steal?
I mean, in most usage, I don't think there is a difference.
It's the focus. You steal something, you rob someone.
Yeah, I guess that's right. Yeah.
And it's those nuances that it's just really hard to get across.
Yeah.
And then
you're trying to explain this to a Spanish speaker.
In Spanish. And I'm like, when they talk to me, they're supposed to talk in English. When I talk to them, I'm talking in Spanish as much as I possibly can. And then I ask them to explain it back to me in English so that A, I know that what I said made sense to them, and B, they're practicing English. It's so hard, but it's really cool. And yeah.
Yeah, I'm glad it's rewarding, because it sounds exhausting when you describe it, like having to teach English in Spanish, but only to some students in the class, because there are other students in the class who are just natural English speakers who you're not speaking Spanish to. It just sounds incredibly exhausting.
It's really hard.
Yeah. Snakebit Cat says, as a former construction safety inspector, the latest Star Trek jobs video is especially delightful. Thank you very much. That video has gotten some very nice feedback, which I'm gratified by. I'm really happy with how that one came out. Yeah, and there have been a few.
Yes.
And there have been there. I noticed there were several comments on it from people that kind of said similar things, like I have a job that is roughly equivalent to the job that this guy is doing, and this all seems very authentic.
Sadly accurate.
So good. Yeah. And there were a bunch of people in the comments that were, mentioning that they laughed at my favorite jokes. So that always makes me feel good. I'm like, oh, good. Yeah. Yep.
Well, I'd like to go ahead and get started, and probably skip Wordle tonight, because I want to make sure, well, not Wordle, excuse me.
Yeah.
Make sure that I have everything packed, because we're leaving tomorrow morning. Not super early, but I don't have all day.
Let us begin. Would you like to explain to everybody how the watch along portion of this watch along stream works?
Yes, I would, Steve. So hopefully you have found whatever you have acquired the episode. So make sure you pull it all the way back to 0000, and then get your little cursor over the play button. And then Steve is going to count us in. He's going to say 3, 2, 1, play. And when Steve says play, we all click play at the same time. Keep an eye on the time code. If you notice, like from the conversation, that you're either ahead or behind, you may want to adjust. Or if you have to restart your computer, or you lose your connection or something, you can just see where we're at and get caught up. And then we'll be sitting here staring at the screen a lot, and then sometimes responding to what's going on in chat or what's going on in the story.
That's it. That's how it goes.
All righty. So,
Mr. I Love the Ants, today's Wednesday, buddy. Today's Wednesday. It's one of those weeks. Okay, here we go. As Dana said, 3, 2, 1, play. Everybody hit play when I say play.
Wait, yes. What? Oh, no, I have to go back. No, I'm kidding. Because you said 3, 2, 1, play.
That was just describing it. Now, this time it's for
Okay.
real. Okay, here we go, everybody. Get ready. And 3, 2, 1, play.
Woohoo!
Yes, and this is Kara's favorite episode, everybody. So, oh, and Caitlin, yeah, the holodeck line, and also the line about my sister and my late nephew. Those are, I think those are my two favorite gags in the thing. And now our story.
Woohoo!
Mr. I Love the Ants. That would be a true story, though, wouldn't it? Or maybe they're not allowed to go after the billionaires.
Swans, buddy. Oh, God.
Well, oh, Mr. I Love the Ants. Poirot isn't 300 pounds.
Poirot's like, what am I paying you for anyway?
You pay me?
He sings, I didn't know you pay me. You don't know
I say,
much, do
Poirot,
you?
have you been paying me all this time? Well, All the things you said running through my head, running through my head, running through my head.
Your drink, sir.
Thank you for the translation.
De nada. Very ominous music.
They're whispering very loudly.
Mr. I love the answer. They have regular power outages? Sure. Those
L-O-L-A
are
Lola.
impressive earrings. Look at those. Dang.
Everybody help yourselves to champagne that tastes just like Coca-Cola. Caitlin, I know it's just like Heart of Darkness.
Shauna Sullivan, possibly over spring break, except I'll still be calling it the Gulf of Mexico.
Yeah, because that's what it's called. Luigi DeMonico, that is a name.
Yep.
Hi, Babs67. The
Snake
restaurant where the
I'm not
patrons
sure.
dress like the waiters.
Shauna Sullivan, I will say, I don't have a problem with any of my exes. If anything, there was one guy that everybody warned me off of, and we ended up not getting together. And I've always wondered if he was as rotten as they said. Never know.
Children of all ages.
Uh-oh. Really?
What? Oh. Boy, she can't hold her liquor.
What?
He's just having a little.
See, if she'd had better manners, she wouldn't have died. Snake my cat, that sounds really cool.
Yeah. We even ask the questions. Close enough.
Poirot.
Poirot.
Hastings, maybe you should have chosen a different place for retirement. I'm just saying.
Yeah. Yeah, really. This doesn't seem like the nicest place. Caitlin, yeah, that was pretty good. I'm not French.
Was it panic or like severe irritation? See, this is very timely because here's the thing. You can be properly documented and still get deported.
Exactly.
that's that's the most terrible part. In a cabin of the third class. Caitlin, I don't think so. I think they would have at least notified the Belgian embassy. I mean, he had had a career in Belgium specifically, but was internationally famous before he came to. I mean, especially on the continent.
An Italian named Luigi. That should be no trouble to track down.
We'll just wait for him to, get ticked off at an insurance guy, and then we'll just, go to the McDonald's. That is the most placid tango that I think I've ever seen.
Well, they're still rehearsing. They're not giving it their full energy yet.
It's final dress.
Yeah, but there ain't nobody in there.
Yeah,
They're
there
saving
was.
it.
They were
They're
there.
saving it for the house. Huh.
What a coinkydink.
Now that's some acting.
Just one more thing. One thing.
English breakfast. We're having her exhumed.
What it is that I know?
I have to solve it before that guy does. Oh, that wouldn't make it less dangerous. Pum pum pum.
Not the real place.
Not the real place. Well, Jap wasn't there, so. Is anybody sitting here?
There is now.
HB Hag, I can kind of see that a little bit.
Mhm.
I think the bird did it. Indeed, murder most foul, John.
Has no idea what's going on, Mr. I love the ants.
Sitting
Did
in a
you see the
bar
latest
somewhere
football
going,
match, Poirot?
I wonder
No.
what Poirot's doing.
I was solving a murder. Oh, really?
What murder?
Yeah, Stephen. What the hell?
I'm saying you have something in your breast pocket and I want to see it. It's not what it looks like. It's just innocent cocaine. Okay, I think I know where this is going.
See, it matters that they dress just like the waiters.
Yeah.
Care for some bubble and squeak? A bit of boiled mash?
He likes it.
I'm telling you, it's potatoes, man. It's hard to go wrong with potatoes.
Well, I mean, the fish looks pretty good too. Fish, you can't go wrong with fish and chips. That was a good episode. I don't know if I quite agree with Cara that it's my favorite, but it's really good. And yeah, I saw the twist with that it was the supposedly dead girl who was serving them the coffee. That's what I expected to happen. As soon as she came in and she was backing in to the room with the coffee cart, I was like, okay.
And her hair was covered.
Yeah, it's like, so
the mob cap went under her hair.
The way, yeah, it's like whenever something is staged that way, in a way that feels unnatural, and it's, it's blocked so that that someone is coming in the room, but you can't tell who it is. It's like, okay, I think
I feel like they were too obvious with that. Like they could have had just somebody come around and pour the coffee, and all you see are the hands.
Right? You didn't need to see. They could have just had like the guard say your coffee's here, and then you just assume that somebody brought it in. Yeah. But no, but it was really well done. Like the fact that I predicted it is not. I'm not using that as like, that's not a knock against it. It was very clever, and it was really, really well done. I just I saw it coming, but that's okay.
Yep, I enjoyed it.
Yeah, it was a good episode.
All right. Well,
are you ready to call it a night so you can finish your preparation for your?
Yes, it's going to be a struggle. I'm actually ready to start getting ready for bed.
Well, how much more do you have to do before you go to bed?
Well, that's the challenge. I don't know. Like, I think I'm just about done.
There you go.
But I don't know what I need to do. That's not good. Sorry, Brian.
Brian, I know, right?
See, this is why we have the pizza with it, so we don't have to worry about that. Because
I'll tell you what, I mean,
be good, but I had pizza.
Most weeks, I only eat meat on Saturday, and I'm already thinking one of those meals on Saturday might have to be fish and chips. There's a couple of places around here that make decent fish and chips. I might have to partake for dinner on Saturday.
There you go. So don't forget, next week we will be right on back here for DS9. What are we watching, Steve?
We are watching. Yeah, it is a Deep Space Nine week next week, and oh boy, I think I told you we only have 3 episodes to go in season 5.
Which has lasted. They've been good episodes, though.
I'm so glad. I like season 5 a lot too. And next week's episode is Empok Nor.
Yep.
I do not love the title because it's just made up Star Trek words, and it makes sense when you watch the episode. Like Empok Nor is the name of a place in the episode. Like it makes sense after you watch it, but I just don't like when they title the shows with their silly made up Star Trek words. Like just call it something else. Okay. But it's a good episode. It's a really good episode.
Well, good.
So I'm looking forward to watching it with you.
Yay! So don't forget to click the button, ding the bell, and all that good stuff. Make sure you are subscribing if you aren't already subscribed, which you probably are. And then you can also support Steve's channel by joining. Also a button for that. Or you can go to patreon.com/Steve Shives.
You
and
sure
also
can.
don't forget to look down in the description for some opportunities to support folks through the various organizations down there, and charitylinks.page, which is curated by a good friend of ours and has links to GoFundMe's and other such things for people who could use a little bit of financial support. And other than that, thanks for joining us, I guess.
I believe that'll do it. Yeah, I think that's it. Well, Dana, good luck with your presentation. You can let us know how it went next week.
Fingers crossed. Don't jinx me. Knock wood, all that good stuff.
Break a leg.
Yeah. I am looking forward to having fun and nerding out over teacher stuff. Woo!
I'm sure you'll have a great time.
I'm kind of thinking I will.
All right. We'll see you next week, everybody. Have a good night.
Bye.
Bye, folks.